Hi everyone, Terry Harden here. I thought I would share with you today a sculpture that I call impressions. And I'm probably going to do about 6 of these impression sculptures. Today what I'm doing is stitch, and what I've done is I've taken some photos like this. The title of this is called Lost. And what I've done is, see, I've taken Stitch here and he's got the little book, but then I've also taken a picture of the book with the little duck. So that now what I've done and what I usually do as a sculptor is that I might do a rough sketch first before I go into my final clay. And this time what I did was I took to join those 2 photos that you saw, because you noticed that those 2 photos didn't have, it wasn't exactly. So I don't always take a photo and then just duplicate it. A lot of times I like to create for you, the collector, something that Stitch is doing that you might not get. And many collectors asked me to do a kind of a dramatic piece with Stitch. So here he is. He's holding his little book and he's got his little face. And if I bring him in, you can see that there he is right there. Basically, the way I do this is just kind of bring the components, and then because it's going to be molded, I need to fill certain areas. So what I've done here is I grab my glasses because this helps me to look up close, and then I've actually marked where the ear is going to go on the side. So I don't know if you see that little mark, but then I place the ear here to show the so now he has that little ears back and kind of sad. So what I'm going to be doing now is now positioning this ear so that it works with the rest of the sculpture. And one of the things that I have to be very careful of is these spaces here where it could lock in the mold. So you'll see that there are areas that I have to fill in order for that to happen. If I remove the ear and I give you an example of that, we can show you this section right here with the book. You can see that it's very shallow right there. It's very shallow so that when it's molded, it doesn't lock onto our little Stitch character. And we can repeat that over here. You can see on this side of the book that I'm working on it. You see where all that chewed up clay is, kind of in this area here. I'm going to need to clean up this arm and then fill in there just enough so that when it's pulled that the book looks good. And then he's going to look really good. And then you see there's a big hole right here that's going to need to be filled. This is a wonderful clay called Chavant. And basically that's what you're going to do is take tools. If you don't have a tool that really works, then I just make it. I know that sounds kind of, but you can do that. Or if you have someone that's really savvy and you're more of a sculptor type, or you don't know how you could make it, then that's what you do. And that's kind of what I'm doing right there, is shaping this area, being very aware of this area here where the book is, it's connecting to the little book. And then we want the arm to be, to also, and you kind of support it because it is a clay, that way. And you just keep turning the tool around to get the shapes that you envision. Now eventually this hand is going to be bent to hold the other side of the book like this one. And even here, what we're going to be doing is, let me see if I can help by showing you what I'm doing, is I take my finger and I kind of hold him so that he doesn't get nervous, he doesn't get lost. And then we continue to smooth the shapes. And then here the same thing, because here's going to be his little toes. So the nice thing about the clay is you just press how you want it. There you go. And it will keep these tool marks on it because it's my impression. I'm actually working pretty fast here. I'm slowing down so that you can better understand what I'm doing. But he will just be my impression. And the idea was to create a sculpture that Disney might not create on their own, because they tend to like happy characters. So, so for example, a lot of your stitches are going to be super happy, you know, hey, energetic, excited, whatever. So some of the things that people are asking me to do is to maybe create a dramatic line that will give that addition to your collection that you haven't been able to get because Disney sculptors aren't encouraged to do that. So since I sculpt on my own, I'm always encouraged to do that if you encourage me. So that's exactly what's going on here. So I'll continue on my little guy. I will come back to show you what he looks like finished and kind of give you an idea of where you might be able to see him in about a couple weeks' time. Okay? So stay tuned.